After sharing a room with my best friend, she and her boyfriend made a noise that made it difficult for me to sleep. My name is Jo Yujia, is a Northern Drift female college student, in order to save money so and girlfriends together in a small 2-room house. That night, I worked overtime just returned home, around the mess of clothes and pants, enough to prove that the two again in the home of unrestrained coexistence. Just as I passed the bathroom and was about to go back to my room, the two of them were entangled with each other in the open bathroom door. I knew that tonight would be another sleepless night. Jiangping is a swimming coach of a swimming pool, people long, tall and handsome, especially swimming for many years to exercise out of a perfect muscle, see me as the inner turnover. Back to the room after I tried to keep myself calm, soon outside the sound of two people laughing and joking, followed by the door of the room closed, a moment of silence. Seeing the two left the bathroom, I took a change of clothes ready to go to the shower. He knew that just as I was about to go in, I saw that Jiangping was standing in front of the sink in his shorts, and under the light his muscle lines were nearly perfect. I couldn't help but freeze for a second, then lowered my head and said, "You're washing up. I'll come wash up later then." "It's fine, I'll let you," Jiangping said as he reached out and pulled me in. Just then Zhang Ru's voice sounded outside the door. "Help me pour a glass of water when you come in." Hearing this, Jiangping smiled faintly at me, then replied, "Got it." As soon as the words fell, he turned around and left the bathroom, not forgetting to look up and down at me with his deep eyes before leaving. Looking at Jiangping's departing back, my heart seemed to be hooked with lust, and a longing clustered in my heart. I tiptoed back to the room, afraid of disturbing the two people who were fighting in the room at the moment, and then escaped back to the bedroom with my head down. This day, I was off work, coincidentally encountered a downpour, thinking of home is close, let Zhang Ru help me send an umbrella, but I did not expect her to say they have something, let Jiangping to send me. But I did not expect to go back to the road, the wind is very strong, the rain directly into the umbrella kept wetting our clothes, just a few minutes of travel, to the home after I and Jiangping soaked. Back to find girlfriends are not at home, the balcony window is still wide open, I sighed slightly towards the balcony. The moment I closed the window, I suddenly felt a pair of eyes staring straight at me. As he got closer and closer to me, I turned toward him and said, "Where did Xiaoru go? Why isn't she at home?" "She went on a short errand and won't be back until tomorrow," Jiangping said and stopped in place. "You are all wet, first go take a shower, here I will handle it." Immediately I nodded with reddened eyes, then took my clothes and rushed into the bathroom. But this door is really too uncooperative, originally just wanted to reveal a gap, but I didn't expect the cold air outside the house to blow gently, the door gap is getting bigger and bigger. In the middle I seemingly adjusted many times, but in the end, I still did not cover the door into a line, as far as possible, not to let their own show too much. With the sound of the water gradually becoming smaller, I picked up the bath towel and prepared to dry off, when I suddenly heard a creak. The bathroom door was pushed open directly by Jiangping. I pretended to be unaware of it. In the afterglow, I saw Jiangping's fire-like eyes in the bathroom mirror, which seemed to be about to devour me in the next second. The cat that Zhang Ru raised directly ran over, and it kept weaving between my 2 feet. I simply squatted down directly, then kept stroking that cat with my hand. "It seems that you like cats a lot?" Jiangping's words caused me to be stunned. Jiangping directly took 2 steps forward, he leaned down, and as his nostrils kept lingering behind my ears, I just couldn't help but half of my body trembled slightly, especially when he slightly touched my buttocks. I glared at him with anger in my panic. You ever do anything to me again, I'll call and have you arrested." "What did you say?" I took the opportunity to turn around and was about to flee into the room, but was pulled back by Jiangping again. "Do you want to go in and step on the sewing machine? I'm warning you, if you touch me again, I'll report it right away." I tried to keep calm, the fear in the bottom of my eyes at the time of consciousness awake directly undisguised in front of Jiangping's eyes. Speaking, only to see Jiangping disdain towards me. Crooked mouth, "You really think of yourself as a good woman? If it is not to see you still a little bit of color, I will have feelings for you. Besides, it's obvious that you're the one who's been teasing me, why are you biting me back now?" But then I looked at him soberly. "What are you talking about? When did I tease you? It's clearly you peeking at me over and over again, trying to force me." Hearing this, Jiangping snorted coldly and reached across my face. Fine, even if it was me peeking at you, but what were you doing just now? Taking a shower without closing the door? Or on the sofa without wearing the clothes inside? Everyone is an adult. In the end you still want me. You're shameless. I also know that the behavior I just did was my own consciousness at work, although my mouth is extremely unrecognizable, but inwardly cannot seem to stand. Just when he felt that he was in a position of power, the cat directly pounced on him and inexplicably began to scratch Jiangping with its claws, and also huffed at him. Feeling the stinging sensation, Jiangping helplessly let go of his hand, and then turned around and kicked the cat away. What are you doing with this stupid cat coming over here? Believe it or not, I'll throw you down from upstairs in a moment. I took the opportunity to push him hard, then closed the door and directly unlocked it. My heart instantly beat rapidly while I slid down the door a little bit. Immediately wanted to call Zhang Ru and tell her everything, but the moment I pulled out the phone flinched. I don't know how to talk to my best friend after connecting the phone. Is it because I intentionally left the bathroom door open and her boyfriend saw it and wanted to force himself on her? Or was it that her boyfriend had been coveting my body for a long time? No matter how you describe it, it seems difficult to talk about it, let alone talk about it with the girlfriend of the person in question. No matter how to express it, this matter sounds so unreasonable, and I did just now because of that little desire in my heart, made that shameful behavior. Thinking of this I threw my cell phone to the side, and then buried my head deeply. Hey, in fact, this is good, after all, is his girlfriend's boyfriend, not to mention did not happen any substantial relationship. And Jiangping himself certainly will not be stupid enough to go with Zhang Ru to say, then I just as long as nothing happens, then everyone's relationship will be peaceful, after all, is under one roof, the stalemate on each other only bad no good. So convinced myself, so in order to not let the middle of another mistake, I and the girlfriends back before the whole night did not come out of their room again. In the middle of Jiangping knocked on the door, I also pretended to be asleep, he saw me ignore him, also did not pester too much. The next day, I sleep is thinking, I heard a burst of urgent knocking outside the door. Immediately my heart thumped, does it mean that Jiangping began to make a demon again, so with anger toward the door shouted, what are you doing? It's me Jia, what's wrong with you? Zhang Ru's voice came from outside the door, I called you a lot but didn't answer, are you sick? I smiled and hurriedly took out my cell phone, only to realize that so many of the above were missed calls from Zhang Ru, and immediately got dressed and got up to open the door. Sorry, I slept too much. I said to explain. As I spoke, I saw Jiangping walk past Zhang Ru's back bare-chested, and with just a quick glance, I saw the unwillingness in the bottom of his eyes as well as an up and down look at me full of interest. Thinking of last night's events, both aggrieved and panicked, but facing Zhang Ru I cannot say anything, can only hide it in the heart. Hearing my apologies, Zhang Ru immediately pulled my hand and said, Nothing, I thought you were sick, nothing on the line, you continue to sleep. I and Jiangping went out to buy food. As soon as the words finished, Zhang Ru turned around and went into her room to change clothes, while I continued to lie down. Thinking about the matter of sharing a room, my heart also started to feel a bit diabolical. In fact, my family conditions are very good, a morning I can bear all the costs of renting a room, but go out and live alone is inevitably lonely and also afraid of living alone is dangerous. So this is the reason why I have been very indulgent to Zhang Ru to people, but said that my life does not affect is false. I thought that mutual concessions, this can be safe and sound, but the same thing happened again. Because of the judgment that I do not dare to scream at the time of Zhang Ru, so directly dragged me into the bathroom. Just when Jiangping wanted to go further, Zhang Ru's voice came out, Ping, why aren't you back yet? I've been preparing for half a day. At those words, I took advantage of Jiangping's panic to directly push him away, and then rushed back to the bedroom with my head down. This time I wanted to have a showdown with Zhang Ru in my heart. But the next day when I saw Zhang Ru, listening to her shushing me with immense concern, I again beat a retreat. Or endure it, after all, is a good girlfriend, big deal less anxious with Jiangping. But my patience did not exchange respect, the next period of time, Jiangping on me without restraint but more unscrupulous. Finally I could not bear it, decided to find Zhao Ru direct showdown, but walked to the door, the conversation inside, let my whole body fell into the ice cellar. How come you haven't gotten it today? I'm telling you, Jiajia's family is really rich. If you don't hurry up, when the debt expires, we're all in trouble. Zhang Ru said, burrowing into Jiangping's arms. Jiangping frowned and said, you think I don't want to? She's very defensive towards me right now, so it's not good for me to get my hands on her at all. Is this still not a good idea? The big deal is that we get some drugs, pretend to invite her to dinner, and then when she passes out, take all sorts of disgraceful pictures of her, and then we'll ask her for money at that time. Zhang Ru's words directly pierced through my heart. I never thought that the person I have always regarded as precious, actually behind the scenes in collaboration with other people to count me. Think about these years, I gave her gifts, lent her money, and their own emotions, in this moment nothing. So I clenched my fists, clenched my teeth and silently retreated back to the room, back to the past as vivid in my mind, and at this moment I must not let them get away with it. But now if I suddenly move out, they will certainly be suspicious. The face of gamblers, money is more important than life. I thought, from the heart of a plan, in order to save themselves, not to hurt themselves, can only come up with this plan. The next day, I deliberately told Zhang Ru in front of the face of their own in the work of the bad, and then words are constantly implying that she wants to get drunk. This can be in Zhang Ru's mind. Heard me say so, she immediately sat down to my side. You are in a bad mood, sisters with you, night, and so Jiangping back, let him fry 2 dishes, we drink a good night. Good, it's settled. I said and sighed at her. As soon as the words were said, Zhang Ru couldn't wait to go to the grocery market to buy food, and when she came back she got a few bottles of foreign wine from somewhere. Seeing her treat me like this, I deliberately acted very touched, and kept telling her to not get drunk tonight. Dinner time, 3 people seated, Zhang Ru cup after cup with me to drink. I am also very cooperative, and even kept letting her fill up. But after 2 rounds of wine, I felt hot, dizzy. I know that they must have given me the effect of the drug. At that moment, I took out the pre-prepared needle into their skin, a burst of pain to wake up, and at the same time I still acted slightly drunk. Look. Slowly I plopped down on the table, crumbling between thoughts as if I had been talking about alcohol. Jia, I'll have Jiangping help you into rest. Zhang Ru said as she walked over to my side, reaching out to poke my arm. Seeing that I didn't react too much, she gave Jiangping a wink. At that moment, I violently opened my eyes and directly gave Jiangping a kick. Jiangping covered himself. How did you? You wake up? I struggled to get up, casually took my own jacket towards the 2. I've recorded all of this you've done to me, wait for the lawsuit. Speaking, I rushed outward. Zhang Ru directly pulled my arm and forcefully pounced on me. Jiangping, give her strong, and then put on the internet, see if she still mouth hard. At this time outside the door sounded a burst of rapid footsteps, followed by the door was directly knocked open. I was saved. It turned out that all of them I have been connected to the public network. As long as the moment they dare to violate me, I directly press the small program in the phone. Those uniformed people will be based on the positioning to find up. Finally 2 people were taken into custody, and I also realized the self-preservation. Just after that I no longer believe in the so-called friendship,